All right, today we're jumping into a truly beautiful classic by Munshi Premchand. It's called Aatmaram, and it's this incredible story about a man who loses the one thing he loves most in the world, only to end up finding his own soul in the process.
You know, there's this one line in the story that just says it all. And that is our main character, Mahadev. He's this aging goldsmith living in a small village, and his life is, well, it's the exact opposite of peaceful.
So you'd think with a huge family, right? I mean, 3 sons, their wives, a bunch of grandkids, you'd think he'd be surrounded by love. But no, Mahadev was completely, totally alone. The only being he felt any connection to, his only comfort, was his pet parrot, Aatmaram.
And this is where it gets really deep. His world was just full of conflict. His family life? A mess. He'd literally skip meals just to avoid the fighting. His neighbors? They just got on his nerves. So his only friend in the whole world was this parrot. And get this, the parrot's name, Aatmaram, literally means inner soul. And the bird has this little chant it says over and over. For Mahadev, that chant was everything. It was his only mantra, his only bit of peace.
So of course, one day the worst thing imaginable happens. Somebody leaves the cage door open. And just like that, the parrot is gone. His soul has literally flown away. What follows is his desperate, all-day chase. The story calls it the perfect picture of Mo, that deep, worldly attachment we all have to things.
He's just exhausted, desperate, chasing this bird into a dark grove. Night starts to fall, and suddenly he stumbles right into a group of thieves counting their stolen money. Now you gotta picture this. Mahadev is a mess. He comes out of the shadows, and these thieves, they think he's a ghost. They freak out and run, leaving behind a whole pot of gold coins. And right there, in that moment, Mahadev's life is about to change forever. So what does he do? He spends the whole night guarding this treasure. And as he sits there in the dark, his mind just starts racing. He's dreaming up all these selfish fantasies. I'm gonna build a giant mansion. I'll open a huge shop. A life of total luxury. You can just feel the gold starting to get to him, corrupting his thoughts.
But then, just as the sun starts to come up, he hears it, that familiar chant. But there's a new part to it now. Attach your mind to the feet of Ram. It's a call to turn to God. His parrot, his Aatmaram, has come back to him. And hearing those words, it's like a switch flips inside him. It's a complete spiritual awakening. And you can see the change right here. It's like a before and after for his soul. All that greed, poof, gone. Instead of a mansion, he's thinking, I need to go on a holy pilgrimage. Instead of a big shop for himself, he's thinking, I'm going to give to charity. Suddenly, the gold isn't about him anymore. It has a much, much higher purpose.
Okay, so this transformation isn't just in his head. It leads to action. He goes back to his village, a completely changed man. And he's not there to show off his new wealth, no. He's there to make things right.
He actually calls a public gathering. Can you imagine? He gets up in front of everyone and confesses that for his entire career, he's been cheating his customers, mixing cheap metals into the gold. And then he vows to repay every single person. The whole village is just stunned. The town priest even decides to test him, claiming this ridiculously high debt. And Mahadev just pays him on the spot. No questions asked. Wow.
And that really makes you wonder, right? What is wealth, really? Because he sets this deadline, a whole month for people to come and make a claim. And you know how many people showed up? Not one. Not a single person. His act of honesty, of true repentance, had earned him something way more valuable than gold. He earned back the respect and forgiveness of everyone.
This is when it all clicks for Mahadev. He has this huge realization. The world basically gives you back what you put into it. I mean, think about it. He'd spent his life being a cheat, and his life was full of arguments and misery. But with just one truly good, honest act, the world showed him kindness and forgiveness right back.
So what's the legacy here? Well, Mahadev uses that treasure to build a temple with a golden dome and a beautiful public pond. His story becomes a local legend. And years later, after his parrot finally passes away, he leaves for the Himalayas. And from then on, nobody calls him Mahadev the goldsmith anymore. To everyone, he's just Aatmaram, the inner soul. He literally became the thing he was chasing.
And the story leaves us with this beautiful, kind of haunting final thought. People say that if you go by that pond late at night, you can still hear the voice, Satgurudat Shivdat Data. It's this idea that a real act of goodness, a real connection to your soul, that doesn't just fade away, it echoes through time.
What an incredible story, right?
If it moved you as much as it moved us, please make sure you're following for more explainers on these kinds of timeless stories. And definitely hit that bell icon because you won't want to miss what we dive into next.